Then she went to back to Bayfront on the 6th floor rehab. Then she came home, okay? And while she was there, she got her bone flap back on, okay? So August of 2010, she got the bone flap put back in.
So they had to do another surgery?
Pardon me?
They had to do another surgery?
Oh, yeah,
She
yeah.
had to recuperate from another surgery?
Yes, yeah. Well, there's no recuperation. You're like out within a day, really. It's, you know.
Was she wearing a helmet until then?
She did. She did wear a helmet when she was on the 6th floor. Yeah, and at the nursing home, she did wear a helmet. Yes, she did. She had a horrible relapse right after that.
Did she get an infection in the hospital, or?
You know, she had a urinary tract infection. That's what I think it ended up being. Nobody could. We came here to this hospital, community hospital, which no way could handle her. The doctor said if something was to happen over the weekend, it was like a Friday night. We had just brought her home. It's like she was home for like 2 days, and she gets this horrible fever. She started throwing up. We thought she was going to gag on her own throat. We called 911. They brought her over here. The doctor looked at me and said, "This is not the place for her to be. If something was to happen over the weekend, we cannot handle this." I tried to get her back to Bayfront. I called the neurosurgeon. They were like, "No. No, sorry, we're done. You can't come back here, blah, blah, blah." I spent the night for 3 nights at this hospital while she basically lost everything. It was almost worse than the first thing that happened. It was just awful.
Hang on 1 second.
Just...
You're talking about bringing her back to this hospital, and
right.
You said she lost everything.
She just lost everything. Her temperature was very high. In other words, she couldn't move. You know, like she was moving the right side of her body. That was not happening. She wasn't talking. She wasn't, coherent really.
How high was her temperature?
It probably, I don't know exactly. It was probably 103. I mean, we were bringing in those ice packs things that they have at the hospital. I don't know if you've seen them. These we would kind of get up and putting them on her, and it was just a constant battle of keeping her temperature down. Her heartbeat was going off the charts. She was on this blood pressure medication, a real huge high dosage. People kept saying, "Why is she on this?" I don't know. I'm not the doctor. Well, they took her off of it, and I hired our own ambulance, and I took her back down to Bayfront that Monday morning. She had this great big huge fluid on the outside of her brain after the operation.
So during this weekend, she wasn't in the hospital?
She was in the hospital, yes.
But when you say you took her back down to Bayfront?
Yes, I did.
So she came home and then came back?
No, from here.
Oh, okay, down.
We could not do a hospital transfer. They said she couldn't come. The only way she could get in there was through the emergency room door, and that's what I decided to do. My husband and I, we decided we had to take her back there because they knew her. Everybody in the whole hospital knew her after being there for 5 months.
So she was in this hospital for the weekend?
Yes.
You drove her down to St. Petersburg?
An ambulance drove her down. I had to go in an ambulance. We hired one and took her down there, and everything ended up being fine. I was very concerned that the infection was in here, and the doctor did do a puncture thing, and it all went down, and he tested it, and that was not where the infection was, and just to find that out was a relief.
Well, the doctor is telling you it's a coincidence that she got this high fever right after her surgery.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to see her while she was the most severe.
Yeah.
The most grave.
Yeah. You know what he said? He said, "Tell those doctors to do their job." That's what he said. To the doctors here at Community to do their job. And you know what? They were trying to do their job. The one main doctor that's on staff here, she's the doctor on staff. She didn't have an office anywhere. She's the doctor for this hospital. Just every kind of doctor possible coming in, doing all these tests, trying to figure out what was wrong with her. And basically, it was a urinary tract infection, which she had at Bayfront, which we knew. So
the surgery knocked down her defenses to the point that that
so.
flared up?
Yeah.
Was there a neurosurgeon in this hospital?
No, there's not. Yeah, see, that was probably the problem. That was the problem. So she stayed there probably about 5 days, and he told me, the neurosurgeon, the original guy that did the original operation, said that the fluid might come back, and it did. It did come back, and she had that fluid on her head for till November, till around Thanksgiving.
When you say it's on her head, it's on the outside of her scalp?
Outside of your head, so you can imagine. I have pictures of it. I mean, she's got it. It was very, very scary. But again, by some kind of miracle, he said it would slowly absorb. The body would slowly absorb it, and it did. It went away.